Kuchisake-onna, Kuchisake-onna, or the slit-mouthed woman, is one of Japan's most iconic and terrifying urban legends. According to the legend, she appears late at night, usually wearing a surgical mask and a long coat. She approaches lone pedestrians, often children or teenagers, and asks a simple question: "Am I pretty?" If you say no, she takes your life on the spot with a pair of concealed scissors. If you say yes, she removes her mask to reveal a grotesque mouth slit from ear to ear. Then, she asks again, "Even now?" Answering no at this point results in death. Saying yes may buy you a few seconds, but the legend says she'll still follow and kill you later. Some stories say the only escape is to confuse her by answering ambiguously or distracting her with certain words or candies. The origin of Kuchisake-onna dates back to the Edo period, where she was said to be the unfaithful wife of a samurai who mutilated her in a jealous rage. In modern times, the legend surged in popularity during the late 1970s in Japan, causing actual public panic. The Bunnyman. The Bunnyman is one of the strangest and enduring urban legends in American folklore. The legend centers around a place known as the Bunnyman Bridge in Fairfax County, Virginia. According to local lore, in the early 1900s, a bus transporting patients from an insane asylum crashed near the area. Most of the inmates were recaptured, except one, Douglas Griffin. Days later, locals began finding skinned, mutilated rabbits hanging from trees near the bridge. When police finally tracked down Griffin, they say he was wearing a makeshift rabbit costume and carrying a hatchet. Other versions say the Bunnyman still haunts the bridge, appearing at night in a white rabbit suit, wielding an axe. People who trespass or loiter near the bridge around Halloween claim to hear scratching sounds, see figures in the woods, or return to their cars to find scratches on the doors. The Smiling Man. The Smiling Man is a modern urban legend that feels less like a ghost story and more like a real-life nightmare. The most well-known account comes from a first-person story posted online by a man who was walking home late at night through a quiet city neighborhood. The streets were empty. The only sound was his own footsteps, that is, until he saw someone ahead of him, a man, thin, tall, wearing a suit that didn't quite fit and smiling. Not a friendly smile, but one that stretched too wide, too long. The stranger didn't speak. He simply watched, then began to move. At first he walked, then danced. His movements were erratic and unnatural, like a puppet with invisible strings. He skipped, twirled, and twisted his limbs in ways that made no sense. The man telling the story crossed to the other side of the street, but the smiling figure mirrored him. When the storyteller stopped, the man stopped. When he moved, so did the stranger, always smiling, never blinking. Eventually, the smiling man started moving faster, not running, but gliding toward him, with arms limp at his sides and his face locked in that impossible grin. The story ends with the narrator running, heart pounding, never looking back. Black-eyed children. A chilling phenomenon reported all over the world. These are terrifying encounters with children who seem off in ways that are hard to explain until it's too late. The legend almost always begins the same way. A person is alone late at night, in a car or at home, when there's a knock at the door. Standing outside are one or two children, usually between 6 and 16 years old. They ask to come in. They say they're lost, or need to use the phone, or want a ride home. They speak politely, but something feels wrong. Their tone is mechanical, their words feeling too rehearsed. And then there are the eyes, completely black, no whites, no irises, just darkness where human emotion should be. Witnesses describe an overwhelming sense of dread, as if something ancient and predatory is pretending to be a child. Some who let them in report strange events, electronics failing, nosebleeds, vivid nightmares, or weeks of bad luck. Others claim the children vanished the moment they were denied entry, leaving behind nothing but silence. Reports of black-eyed children first went viral in the late 1990s after journalist Brian Bethel shared his own experience online. Since then, encounters have been reported worldwide, from rural Texas and suburban England to small villages in Japan and Eastern Europe. The Whistler. The Whistler is a lesser-known but deeply disturbing urban legend that has surfaced in scattered stories across North and South America. It is reported as a mysterious figure you never see, but always hear. At the heart of the legend is a simple but chilling sound: a whistle. Not random, but distinct. Often described as a slow, deliberate melody, played over and over again, either too rhythmic to be natural or too warped to feel human. Witnesses report hearing it outside their homes, down long roads, or while camping. Sometimes it's far away. Other times, it sounds like it's just outside the window. One of the most unsettling aspects is that the whistle behaves backwards. When it sounds close, it's actually far away. When it sounds distant, it may be right behind you. Teke Teke. One of Japan's most chilling urban legends, Teke Teke tells the story of a ghost who crawls on her hands and elbows, severed at the waist and driven by rage. The origin of the legend varies, but most versions agree on one detail. She was once a young woman who suffered a violent accident on a train platform. Some say she slipped. Others claim she jumped. Regardless, she fell onto the tracks and was cut in half by an oncoming train. Her upper body survived for a moment, dragging itself across the platform before she finally died. According to the legend, she never moved on. Teke Teke is said to haunt quiet urban areas at night. Schools, hallways, alleys, and sidewalks become her hunting ground. Witnesses report hearing a strange sound before they see her, a scraping rhythm that mimics the way she moves across the ground. It sounds like someone dragging themselves toward you. That sound gives her name its meaning. Tek, tek, tek. She appears suddenly and without mercy. In many versions of the story, she carries a sharp blade. Some say it is a scythe. Others claim it is a rusty piece of metal. She asks a question. Sometimes it is, "Where are my legs?" Or "Do you need yours?" If you hesitate or give the wrong answer, she will slice you in half. You are left just like her. The Grunch. The Grunch is a regional legend from New Orleans folklore, blending elements of cryptid, cautionary tale, and Southern Gothic horror. The story centers on a secluded road outside New Orleans known as Grunch Road. Locals claim that if you drive down this road late at night, you might encounter something watching from the trees. It is small, hunched, and unnaturally quiet. Some say it has glowing eyes. Others say it moves on all fours, but can stand upright like a person. According to legend, the Grunch were once a group of people shunned from society. They lived deep in the woods, cut off from the outside world. Over time, they became something else. Twisted. Feral. In some versions, they are mutated from inbreeding. In others, they were cursed or experimented on. Either way, the result is the same. They are said to be territorial, aggressive, and hungry for blood. The most common version of the legend says they lure drivers by leaving an injured goat on the side of the road. When someone stops to help, they are dragged into the woods and never seen again. The elevator game. The elevator game is a ritual-based urban legend that promises access to another dimension, but only if you follow every step exactly. Originating from Korea and later spreading through forums and creepypasta sites, the game requires nothing more than a building with at least 10 floors and an elevator. You must be alone. Once inside, you press the buttons in a specific sequence. If done correctly, and if the legend is true, a woman will enter the elevator on the 5th floor. She will not speak. She must not be spoken to or looked at. Then, instead of going to the 1st floor when you press the button, the elevator begins to rise. And if it goes to the 10th floor instead, you've entered what's called the other world. It looks like your world, but different. The lights may be dim. The building may seem empty. Some say the windows reveal a blood-red sky. Electronic devices stop working. You'll feel watched. The hardest part isn't getting there, it's getting back. The steps must be repeated in exact reverse. But players have reported complications. The elevator doesn't respond, or it stops at random floors. And sometimes the woman is still inside, smiling now.